Jack and the Beanstalk 2, The Beanventure Continues. Once upon a time, in a sleepy little village, Jack was once again up to his usual antics. After the whole giant beanstalk ordeal, Jack had become a bit of a local celebrity. People whispered in the streets, "That's the kid who climbed the beanstalk and swiped a golden goose." Even the cows mooed in awe when he passed by. But Jack had a secret. He still had one last magic bean. "Mom told me not to mess with beans again," Jack muttered, fiddling with the little green seed in his palm. But what could go wrong? It's just one bean. Planting trouble. Unable to resist, Jack planted the bean in his backyard. He stared at the ground, waiting for something magical to happen. When nothing did, he shrugged and went inside to eat some leftover stew. Later that night, as Jack snored loudly enough to wake the sheep in the barn, the bean sprouted, and boy, did it sprout! Not only did it grow into another massive beanstalk, but this time, the plant had some attitude. Its leaves glittered like emeralds, and it swayed back and forth like it was listening to music only it could hear. When Jack woke up the next morning and saw the dancing beanstalk, he let out a big sigh. Oh no, not again! Up, up, and away. Of course, curiosity got the better of him. Grabbing a sandwich for the road, Jack started climbing the beanstalk. This time, it was even taller and twistier than before. There were loops, spirals, and even a branch that looked suspiciously like a waterslide. After what felt like hours, Jack reached the top and found something new, a sign. "Welcome to Cloud Town, Giant Free Zone." "Well, that's promising," Jack said, walking into what looked like a bustling cloud city. There were fluffy roads, marshmallow cars, and cloud houses shaped like puffy castles. The residents weren't giants, they were cloud people. They floated around like helium balloons and looked like living pillows. One particularly round cloud floated up to Jack. "Hey there, stranger! Welcome to Cloud Town. I'm Nimbus. What brings you here?" Jack hesitated. I climbed a beanstalk. Is there, like, a goose or a harp I should be stealing?" Nimbus frowned. "Oh no, no stealing here. But we do have something special. Follow me." The Cloud Carnival. Nimbus led Jack to the Cloud Carnival, a whimsical fair full of cotton candy, trampoline rides, and games like Pin the Thunderbolt on the Storm. Jack's eyes lit up. "This is way better than a goose," he said, hopping on a bouncy cloud ride. But Jack noticed something odd. A group of the cloud people was huddled together, whispering nervously. He approached Nimbus. "What's up with them?" Nimbus looked around and whispered, "Well, we did have a small problem. A giant cloud-eating vacuum escaped from the weather factory. It's been sucking up parts of Cloud Town." Jack gulped. "Did you say a cloud-eating vacuum?" Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the air. Out of nowhere appeared a massive, clunky vacuum cleaner, with glowing red eyes and an evil grin. It was chomping through the clouds like a hungry hippo. "Yup, that's the one," Nimbus said calmly. "Jack saves the day." The cloud people screamed and floated in every direction. Jack, however, had an idea. "Does anyone have a rope?" Nimbus handed Jack a long piece of lightning. "Will this do?" "Perfect," Jack said, grabbing the lightning rope and looping it into a lasso. He ran toward the vacuum, dodging its suction hose and leaping over bits of flying fluff. "Here goes nothing!" Jack shouted, throwing the lasso. With a loud zap, the lightning rope wrapped around the vacuum's nozzle. Jack pulled with all his might, but the vacuum was strong, and surprisingly stubborn. "Hey, kid," the vacuum growled. "Let me go. I'm hungry." Jack had an idea. He pulled the sandwich out of his pocket and waved it in the air. "You want this instead?" The vacuum stopped struggling. "Is that peanut butter and jelly?" "Sure is," Jack said, tossing the sandwich into the vacuum's mouth. It chewed for a moment, then spat out a puff of crumbs. "Delicious. I don't need clouds anymore." "Thanks, kid." With that, the vacuum zoomed off into the distance, presumably in search of more sandwiches. "A hero's reward," the cloud people cheered and lifted Jack onto their shoulders. "You've saved Cloud Town," Nimbus said. "How can we ever thank you?" "Well," Jack said, grinning, "I wouldn't mind some of that cotton candy." They handed Jack the biggest cotton candy he'd ever seen. It was so big he had to use both hands to hold it. They also gave him a golden cloud medal and a bag of cloud coins, which he suspected weren't worth much on the ground but looked cool. Back to Earth, Jack slid down the beanstalk, his pockets full of cloud coins and his hands sticky from cotton candy. When he got home, his mom was standing in the yard, hands on her hips. "Jack, what did I say about magic beans?" she scolded. Don't plant them," Jack said sheepishly. His mom sighed. "Well, at least this time you brought something fun." She grabbed a piece of the cotton candy and took a bite. Fluffy. From that day on, Jack decided to stick to normal beans. But he kept the cloud coins in a jar, just in case he ever wanted to visit Cloud Town again. And who knows? Maybe there's still another adventure waiting in the last magic bean. The end.